everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Your Manchester.
I'm back.
How are you?
I'm very good. Yes, I've been at our... Well,
don't give too much away.
Can't give too much away, but I've been working on something really special for Your Manchester, which you'll see in a couple of weeks' time.
Yes, there's 2 weeks away until that, isn't there?
Yes. Maybe 3 weeks.
Well, let's focus on the here and now. What a show we've got today.
I know. Very busy one.
Very, very busy show. In just a few minutes' time, I'm going to be heading over there.
Yes.
You're going to be heading over yonder.
Yes.
As I'm going to be speaking to a lady called Anita, who's going to tell us one fantastic story about her journey within the world of the HIV status that she's currently carrying around with her at the moment.
We've also got a chat with Kitty Harris, who's going to be in The Greatest Days. That's the Take That musical.
That's exciting, isn't it? And if you like a bit of R&B, you'll be speaking to Prima, won't you?
Prima, yes.
Yes, it's all going on for you. So sit back, this is what's on today's show. And I am now joined here in Sackville Park with Anita. Now, Anita, you've got a fabulous story, haven't you?
I do.
You are doing something for charity. What is it you're doing for charity?
So, we are raising money. We did a Stepping Up project with George House Trust last year, and we're raising money for the dresses. These dresses have been bought from charity shops that have beautiful dresses, but all the money is raised for women who are HIV positive to have an amazing evening, MAC makeup, do the makeup, get dresses, but the important thing is to walk down that catwalk and at the end to say how you feel, because we just don't do that enough. Even when we get together sometimes we forget to say how are you. So this was a momentous time for me last year after what I've been through. So
what had you gone through and what made you feel so passionate about wanting to do this?
It was really difficult. I discovered I was HIV positive in 1995. Back in 1995, it was a time when you were told to put your affairs in order and prepare to die. And I've lived an amazing life. There's been times when things have been tricky, my status has been discovered, and it's made life awkward for me. Relationship-wise, I've been very lucky and been accepted by my partners. Most women are not, and men in the same situation. But in my workplace, which was discovered my status, I'd been there 5 years, never expected this to happen to me. The response was volatile, it was cruel, it made me to a shell of myself. And anyone who knows me, as you do, Miss Belinda, knows I'm a really fun person. Life matters to me. Every day should count. I began self-harming, I was drinking, I found myself just unable to communicate. The bullying got worse, and as much as I tried to say I couldn't, I left my position and returned back to George House. This wasn't, guys, as you may think, like a long time ago. This was 4.5 years ago. In no way should we, in this time of life, be still at this level of ignorance and hatred. Stigma is what kills people with HIV, not the illness, because it leads to other problems and mental health issues.
So what was the bullying for you then? How did that present itself in the workplace?
Within my workplace there were conversations as I literally was stood there discussing how people with AIDS shouldn't even be around. One particular conversation, which was after there'd actually been someone dismissed for the bullying, a new guy had started in the office and he was asking who all the girls were, said, oh, that Anita's a bit of alright, and the other guy went, oh, forget it mate, she's riddled. We had just gone through a procedure where someone had been fired. The person who said it was in that procedure and had got an official warning. And I'm literally sat there, they stood behind me, and I started to cry. And I couldn't get off my chair, I was literally frozen. And at that point I thought, what more can I take? I turned to my left and my senior manager was there. He could hear the whole conversation. And as I turned around, I looked at the other guys as well. And one of the other guys went, yeah mate, she's riddled, forget it. He went, God, never would have thought she had AIDS. And I literally couldn't move. It took me about 20 minutes. I turned around to my boss and said, I need to speak to you. When I went into the corridor, my senior manager, who'd been part of the process, said to me, if I got on with my work, I wouldn't hear what people say about me.
That's horrendous. And like you said, that's only a few years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, and at that point I realised I had no option but to leave. I needed to heal because the self-harm, the drinking, to get through every day was getting worse. And luckily I had George House.
Yeah. So this is only a few years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, then you found the George House Trust. What was it about the George House Trust that you liked and that appealed to you?
When I was diagnosed in 1995, I was very lucky to be part of an amazing gay community in Preston that helped me, loved me and made me thrive. And they brought me to George House, where I got so much help. I, after 6 months of diagnosis, gave my first positive talk within schools and health professionals, and started working with George House because I realised what they did was just amazing. What they gave me to walk in a room with a group, with a group of people that are the same as you, but give you a hug, and for the first time you feel wanted. And I'd forgot how raw that feeling was, and what happened in my workplace took me back to when I found out. They took me back 30 years to feeling that the world didn't want me anymore and that I wasn't loved. So returning to George House Trust was returning to family. They opened the doors, and I can't thank them enough.
They're a great organisation, aren't they?
Yeah.
And of course that makes you want to do stuff for them because they are so good. You know, you've been involved with them now for a while, and you keep. What would you say to people that are thinking about perhaps, you know, getting in contact with the George House Trust, that are perhaps going through the same situation that you went through a few years ago? What would you say to them to make them pick up the phone and get in contact with the George House Trust?
I think for me the most important thing, and the thing I advocate for, is for the heterosexual community, for people to go and say we need help, because the problem is people live in fear and stigma still. People are still hiding away and they don't come. When you come to George House, you are accepted. There are so many things going on, and even if they know you might not fit in with that group or that might not be for you, they've got something that will be and that will work for you, and you can get the help that you want, and then you can get the love that you need to evolve from what you've just found out about yourself.
Because I suppose most people would think that HIV is for the LGBT, full stop, and not for our allies and people, you know, that are living heterosexual lives.
In all the years that I have been doing talks, the one thing that has stood out is because I am a white heterosexual female with a good job, not a drug user, not known to be a sex worker, that's the first thing, and that's where the stigma is, that it does affect us. Right now within the heterosexual community, Belinda, it is absolutely outstanding. It's just scary that people are now coming out of relationships from 30, 40 plus, coming into new relationships, and they are not finding out their sexual health. They're not taking that on board. And from that, we are finding that it's within the heterosexual community once again, because like you said, everyone thought it was to do with being gay within the LGBTQ community, and it isn't. It has always been that way. People are just scared to speak out. I hope what I'm doing today will make a difference to one person.
That's all it matters to, doesn't it? And we should say that these days, you equals you.
This is one of the most important things. You equals you is that if you're undetectable, like myself, I've been on medication now for a long time. I've been undetectable for over 20 years, so you cannot pass the virus on. So if you have sexual contact with somebody, you don't have to use a condom, and you're not going to pass on the virus. And that is a massive thing. But what that also then does say is, but you should still use a condom because there are other sexually transmitted infections out there, and take care of yourself. This is one of the most important things I find, is that we need to say condoms are still needed, but what you need to stop is the stigma.
needs to be an open conversation, doesn't there?
It needs
all
to
the
be
time.
and the fact is, you know, so many people are not willing to have that conversation. Sometimes they'll have conversations with the children, but then they don't bring in about the sexual health, or it's covered up in some communities, it's never discussed. So you find a high rate of HIV and other sexually transmitted infections. But for me, I know from what I've done in schools and working, and I've been doing this now for 30 years, is that within the heterosexual community, it is so vital this message gets out.
So, what is it you're doing? When are you doing it? And how can we support it?
So, we are doing a 5k run in 2 weeks. Then we are doing Pretty Mudder. That's a 5k over assault course. We are also doing...
There's a lot there, isn't there?
I can't imagine myself doing it either, but hey, that's funny. We are also then doing the Fleetwood Trek Wreck. But the most important thing, and I'm sure you'll be there, Belinda, is on the 5th of August, we are going to do a picnic. It is open to everybody. In that picnic, we're going to do the 5-mile walk around Heaton Park, and we're just going to all sit down like we used to do in the old days when we had the good old gay picnics.
Yes.
Or pink picnics, as
Pink
we called
picnics,
them.
yeah.
Yes, the old, good old pink picnic. So we're going to have a picnic. We want families and friends, everyone to come. We're going to do a walk, and everything that we have raised is going to go to this day, and it's going to be immense. The people are coming with children. Some people are coming who have never been involved within HIV because they've responded to what I put on social media, which basically I've outed myself as being a positive woman.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a thing to be ashamed of, is it, though?
No, it's been really strange. I've had a few strange responses. A lot of responses have been absolutely so positive, Belinda. Like, people I've known for years who said, we never knew. And I was like, well, there was no reason for you to know.
Yeah.
It wasn't part of our friendship. But now they understand me more. They understand what have happened and what I've gone through. But also feel really sad that I didn't reach out to them because of my fear of telling them I was HIV.
Well, after what you went through at work, it's understandable,
Yeah.
isn't it? For now, though, thank you, Anita, so much.
You're welcome. Thank
Brilliant.
you.
Thank you.
Some brilliant stuff from Belinda there. And while she makes her way over to our temporary studio, I'm really happy to be joined by one of Manchester's newest R&B singers. Well, she's been on the scene a little while, but she's got an exciting new project coming up very soon. It's Prima. Hello to you, Prima.
Hi, it's so good to be here today.
Tell us about your music. So you've been described as a person that's bringing R&B to Manchester. You're from Prestwich. Tell us about yourself and how long you've been singing and things.
So I'm an R&B singer-songwriter, and I've been really seriously doing my own stuff over the last sort of like 5 years. And yeah, my music is just really honest. I like to write from a place of real relationships and talking about the highs and lows of being in love, kind of what everyone goes through, really. So it's quite conversational at the same time as kind of very sort of those smooth sort of vocals and bringing in those really nice R&B melodies. And I play piano as well, so that adds a little bit of flavour as well into the sound.
Well, of course, you have got this new project coming up, but before we do that, we're going to backtrack just a little bit. Of course, as I said before, you are from Prestwich, you are from Manchester. What inspired you growing up from our glorious region to get involved in music? Is it something that you've always been passionate about?
Yeah, definitely. I come from quite a musical family, and as I was growing up, my dad plays piano and my mum sings, and it was a very musical family. My sister went into doing like musical theatre, and I grew up playing the piano and singing, and I think it was just a big thing in our household anyway.
Yeah. So tell us what you've been up to in the last 5 years leading up to, of course, this new release.
So I've it's been an amazing journey, really. I've had a track on Radio 1 Extra, and then I had a track on Radio 1, and from that I got to do Reading and Leeds Festival, which was an amazing experience, doing a live set on the BBC Introducing stage. And then obviously the pandemic hit, so it was kind of 2 years of everybody trying to understand what was going on, and for me it kind of took time out for me to realise really where I wanted to go as an artist, and I just created loads in that time period. So
we've spoken so much about it already, this brand new project. Is it 2 more sleeps now until the EP is released?
Yes, exactly, two more sleeps. So it's
Tell us about it.
Released on Friday. So this EP is called Music to Break Up To, and it kind of takes you on a journey of like being head over heels in love with somebody, like from the first song, and you know, as we go along gradually by the third song, because it's a 4-track EP, so it's kind of short and sweet really, and that's kind of how I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be this bite-sized story, and by the end of the EP, I'm thinking about, oh God, maybe I need to break up with this person. So it really just takes you on a whirlwind.
Oh my goodness, that's quite personal, isn't it? It sounds absolutely fabulous. Cannot wait to hear it when it's released on Friday. Where's your EP launch at?
So the EP launch is at Off the Square, which is on Lever Street in Manchester.
Brilliant. So get yourselves down there. Go and see the lovely Prima. As I said to you, best of luck with everything.
Thank you.
Great stuff from Prima there. And well, if you're wondering what is happening in the world of television and film, there is one lady who can fill you in on all of that. It's the lovely Miss Hayley Cartwright. Over to you, Hayley.
Hi, I'm Hayley and welcome to Your Film. Now, what happens if a random text message led to the love of your life? This is what happens in the film Love Again, which is out in cinemas on the 10th of May. Now, it stars Celine Dion, who is playing herself, and it's about a lady called Myra who is struggling with the loss of her fiancé, and she sends a text message to his old number, not realising that the number has been reassigned to another man. Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3 is out on the 3rd of May. Peter Quill must gather his team to protect the universe. Now, if the mission is not completed, it could mean the end of the Guardians as we know them. And of course, on the 13th of May, it is Eurovision final night. And if you couldn't get tickets for Liverpool, fear not, because for the first time, the event is being broadcast live. That's live across cinemas in the UK. And you can also watch a preview show, which is presented by Danny Minogue just before the main event. Now that's it from me. I shall catch you next time. And remember, stronger together. Bye.
Anna, well, I've just got back now.
You're back.
I'm just back in time to speak to one of the legends of our lovely entertainment industry, and that's Betty Legs Diamond. Welcome to the show, Betty Legs.
Hello, my darlings. How are you?
Looking very glamorous in time for your appearance at the Stockport Plaza this Saturday.
Oh, I am. I can't wait. I absolutely love this theatre, and I've never played it, and apparently it's all just been done up. So I'm so excited.
Are you going to come up on the organ?
Oh, I've been up on many organs, but I'm always up for a new one.
You've got to have a go on the organ. It's better.
Oh, I
was going to say it's better than Blackpool rides, but I mean, you'd know all about Blackpool. 28 years of having this wonderful career in Blackpool and Funny Girls. Most people will know you from. What's made you take the leap from doing Funny Girls to going out doing it on your own?
I because I've been there 28 years, it's sort of got very, very samey. Although I love putting on the shows and all the production numbers, I thought, why not take it out on tour to the people that don't necessarily get to Blackpool very much? So instead of them coming to me, I'm taking the show to them.
I know what you put into the shows, but what is it for people that haven't seen you before that you could describe to them is a Betty Legs Diamond show?
Well, it's we come on and do this fabulous big opening number. It's lots of tap dancing, and then I introduce myself to those that don't know me, and I talk about Funny Girls. I introduce the cast, and then we have a bit of a laugh with the punters out front. It's all live, and then we go steaming ahead with the show, and it's very much like we do at Funny Girls.
What happens after the tour? What are you going to move on to next? Have you got any ideas?
I've maybe doing panto. I've got a couple of offers there, which I can't wait to do. I haven't done panto for a long time, and I love doing stand-up and live and also being part of a team. I love all that, and being back in the theatre and not having to put the show on myself, just walking in and doing it. And maybe a summer season. I've got a couple of little offers there. So yeah, I want to be quite diverse now, and maybe do film or radio, or I'm on Facebook, as you can tell. So I might move on. And
We're looking forward to it.
We are looking forward. We are coming to this one.
You're coming, are you?
We'll be there. I mean, you won't recognise me, but I will be there. Do you like my fringe?
I do. Do you like mine?
It's very nice. Do you know where else has a wonderful fringe?
Where's that?
Manchester. Oh. That's right. We're gearing up now for the Manchester Fringe Festival. It's going to be starting very, very soon. And to find out what it's all about, we sent our Frank Johnson.
If you're wondering who I am, you probably need to start by asking yourself a few questions like, who are you and what have you been doing? I am, of course, the champ, aka the Ginger Ninja. But you might know me if you grew up in Rochdale in the 70s as Nigel Franklin. Don't say nickname, because I'm not over it. So we're here with Wrestling with Champ. You might have heard podcast and the live show. Yeah, we're bringing a new show, Smile Driver. We're going to be upstairs at a Face Bar in the Vault, which sounds like quite cool, like it's a bank. But why would you have a vault upstairs? People have asked me, what's the brief synopsis of my show? And I've just said to them, what synopsis mean? So the show is about me and facing retirement, basically. And as we all know, wrestlers don't retire, or they try not to. So there'll be a bit of music, a bit of singing, a bit of rapping, because I'm like a triple threat, you know? Like I wrestle, I act, I sing, and I dance and wrestle. So yeah, triple threat. So it's about me and my manager, Damien, trying to find out what to do when, once again, through injury and bad management, I'm faced with having to retire. It's a tough one. I know what you're thinking. How do I get tickets? When is it on? And how do I get there? Well, you get there by heading to Thomas Street. It's at Face Bar. We're upstairs. You get the tickets and the link, which this clever guy will probably put here or there or somewhere like that. And it's at 7 p.m, maybe 7:15 p.m, maybe 8. No, come at 7 at Face Bar, Manchester, July 15th, which is a Saturday, which is a great day for it. For me, what the Fringe is all about is like people like me being able to come along and be myself. And by myself, I mean dress like an absolute prick and be accepted. That's what I love about it.
I'm Paul Jenkins, and I'm going to be performing my show, Me, Not Me, at Lock 91 on the 11th, 12th and 13th of July. It's a selection of my poetry work all the way through my life. I've been writing poems, sometimes from characters' point of view, sometimes from my point of view, and I've realised as I'm looking back on them, actually the two are bleeding into one another. So the audience's job during the course of the show is to try and work out which ones are me and which ones are not me. And actually, it's a little bit more complicated than that as we go through. Lots of interaction, lots of stuff with the audience trying to, basically, in theory, they should know me by the end of it. And that's the plan. It's great because it gives me the chance to experiment a little. It means that I can put some material out there that I don't usually perform, because I usually perform in front of much smaller people. I work in schools quite a lot, doing schools poetry tours. And it means that I can connect with new audiences and I can, get this brand new show out there.
My name is Quigley and I'm co-running Feast, which is a folk horror evening of storytelling and spoken word. So we have a series of different storytellers telling a range of spooky tales. We've got some surprises, we've got a hurdy-gurdy player. It's going to be a really interesting evening. It's in the basement of Pier Hat on July the 11th. I guess it's just the coming together of so many different creatives, all these different people creating such different things and getting to build off each other and really learn so much about their own work through talking to other people.
Well, Belinda, today could be the greatest day of your life.
Get out.
Because we've got joining us now the lovely Kitty Harris, who is in part of the Greatest Days musical.
Hi. That musical. Wow, this must be very exciting for you to get to join in with all these amazing songs and everything. Part of Take That's Legacies.
Oh, it's so exciting. I'm so excited to be here, and it's just been brilliant, honestly. I can't wait for people to see the show.
Now, we had something a few years ago, and that was the band. Is this a lot different to that?
The storyline is pretty much the same, but we've added things to it, and it's basically the same. But we have just added little things, and a few bits are different, I'd say.
Well, it was a very, very beautiful storyline, all about friendship. I mean, I know in the core of it, when it was the band, it had this group of people that were in, part of the band, emulating the journey of Take That. But at the core of it was friendship. Is this what the Greatest Days is emulating as well?
100%, 100% about friendship, and how how everybody's kind of brought together, and also, you know, there's a lot of different things in it. It's very emotional, very heartwarming. Can't say too much. You have to come and watch.
Oh, you're keeping us waiting. I'm really excited for it. I do love a bit of Take That. I've got to give you that. Do you have a favourite Take That song?
I do. I would say it's Relight My Fire.
Oh, a classic that. There's been a bit of controversy recently. With people singing at the theatre.
Yeah.
Is this a production where people can get involved, or would you rather they wait till the end for the final number?
Well, I feel like, you know, it's kind of hard not to sing along sometimes, especially when there's such hits.
Yeah.
But, you know, I feel like there's a time and there's a place as well. And there's definitely a lot of places in this where people can join in. So, and it's nice for us also sometimes, you know, because when we're singing along and we kind of want people to join in, because some of it is like a concert kind of vibe.
And Kitty, we can't go without mentioning the fact that, of course, you are a singer and you're also a very big TikToker. You have amassed a whopping, get this, 1.2 million followers on TikTok. Will you have much time to do TikTok whilst you're going around the country with Greatest Days?
Well, I definitely will. I'm trying my hardest. I think it's been harder being in rehearsals, obviously, because I've had so much to think about and prepare for. Whereas when we start getting into a routine and more into the shows, I'll definitely have more time. I've told them though; they all know. All my wonderful friends on there, they all know that I'll be coming back soon.
So when's it coming to Manchester then?
So we're coming to Manchester on the 16th of May. For 2 weeks until the 27th, I think it is, of May. So yeah.
What's your favourite thing about Manchester?
My favourite thing about Manchester, this interview.
That's such the right answer.
Oh,
really
so
is.
kind of you to say.
You've managed to turn this into one of my greatest days. I got there.
Greatest
There we go.
interview.
Thank you so much
Cheers,
for your
Kitty.
time today, and have a lovely run. And of course, we will be there checking this one out.
Yes,
Greatest
definitely
days
so.
coming to Manchester.
We've had a lovely show. We've been out and about.
It's been fantastic. We've had some really heartwarming stories there, and lots going on, haven't we?
I know, lots of stuff happening in our beautiful city this week, and lots more to come next week. You're looking forward to it?
Well, I'm not here, so I don't care. I'll leave this for you. In fact, I'm going on my holidays right now.
Must be nice. Well, that's left me a bit confused, actually. Well, I guess I'll just see you next week. Only on Your Manchester!